Welcome to the perpetual show, where the loaves go, we've got flow. Oh yeah. Driving through the fields of green, oh so bright, with the loaf by your side, everything feels right. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The loaf's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The loaf takes us places where we find love. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The love's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The love takes us places where we find love.
Hello, everybody. We're here. I'm here with Dirk. Hi, Dirk. I don't know if they can hear you. Well, you're also not talking, which, uh, in a sense, that does solve the problem. I will try to make sure they can hear you, even if you say something, Dirk. Anything. Okay. Uh, okay. Say something. Yeah, say a word.
Hello?
Yeah, it worked. Okay. All right, so we're here. We haven't done a stream in like 2 weeks, but we're here. There's no Gick. It's just me and Dirk. Um, a lot has happened. So much has happened that I don't actually know what to talk about. um, I think like probably the biggest thing that's happened is well, there's been the Kharkiv offensive, right? It has ground to a halt for the most part. There really are two Kharkiv offensives. The western one, the western one completely failed basically, and is being slowly pushed back. The eastern one is still up in the air. What's going to happen? There was an even more western attack, like yesterday, where Russia, or 2 days ago, Russia crossed the border, but then they're pushed back across the border again. Um, but yeah, Dirk, what do you think of this Kharkiv offensive? They're they're pushing with Ukraine counterattacking, and perhaps even eventually retaking some areas. No opinion. Okay,
I think it's good.
that's good.
I think that's about all I have to say.
Okay.
I
We
think Russia should go back across the border. That's what I
Yeah. Since our last stream, we got 100% confirmation that Russia was, at least at that time, still stuck in this aggregate factory. Uh, Russia was making honestly desperate attempts to uh, get to the aggregate factory, and I don't know, do troop rotations, medevacs, deliver supplies. They're really desperate. I don't think any of the videos were public. I think they're all like not for public consumption videos. But it it was just YOLOing. It was like the sorts of events where just kind of looking at it, it felt like the Russians knew it was a long shot that they would ever get there, and they were just trying anyway. And spoiler, they didn't get there. uh, so at that point, we there was 100% confirmation that Russia was actually stuck in this aggregate plant. I don't actually know what's happened since then. I haven't had any information that anything has actually changed. We do know that Russia is making these kind of YOLO attempts to get to the aggregate plant, and occasionally they do get there. Um, I think some people have interpreted the occasional success as Russia linking up with that aggregate plant, which I think is a bit much. I think it's a bit much. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about this kind of northern area. Um, I don't see much change beyond that. There's been a lot of Ukrainian assaults north of Lipsy. Uh, there's a lot of talk that Ukraine is clearing Russia out of. I don't know how to say the name of this town. Constantine has tried to teach me, and I keep forgetting. Kleboka, Klebok, whatever. This town. Anyway, there's rumors that Ukraine is clearing Russia out, like house by house, slowly capturing the town. Um, and I'm sure if Ukraine ever does actually capture a town, we probably won't learn about it until a week or two later, because they're going to try to keep that secret. There is a really vitally important defensive, a trench system right at this corner right here, and we've had some video of Russia in that trench, and but I don't think Russia actually ever captured it. I'm not sure if Ukraine ever lost it, but we did have some video of Russia in that trench. But and we also don't know when that actually happened because the video may have been older than the release date. But anyways, this whole area it's somewhat interesting. The failure that Russia suffered. Now, a big part of why Russia's having problems here is that every single supply route is under basically uh, total drone control. So, pretty much any vehicle that Russia tries to get to these troops is getting destroyed by FPV drones. Either on the way there or on the way back. It's you can't really survive it. It's gotten to the point where Russia's using drones for resupply, which is not a great place to be, especially if you're wounded and you kind of want a doctor, you know. Uh, anyways, that kind of drone fire control, it's kind of a new thing, I guess. I'm not sure any war has ever had drone fire control before, but once it's established, it's really hard to get rid of because like established drone teams are difficult to deal with. You'd imagine if you're really truly established, you're probably setting up some sort of counter drone electronic warfare equipment to protect yourself from enemy drones. You of course control all of the roads and paths, and with drones, you control the vehicles and the infantry. So it's just tough once you get under that kind of fire control. So yeah, that's kind of the northern area there. Now there's been other kind of Ukrainian success near Terney, and we hear today that there's even more developing success near Terney and that they've advanced even further than this. I don't know any specific details beyond that. There's no specifics other than they're claiming to advance further than depicted. So that is a positive. Now, I think the reason Ukraine is able to advance near Terni is because Russia kind of withdrew their troops, and I think they put some of them probably closer to Makivka, and even more of them up here near Novaya where we kind of expect the main Russian push to kind of come on this axis, going northwest out of Novaya towards Stelmachivka and all these other towns here. So moving up, kind of northwest, with the ultimate goal to kind of like do one of these like loops, and kind of get to Barova. So it's kind of go get to Barova by going northwest and then kind of curving down probably, or maybe sprinting to this river crossing, which I'm not sure if it is a river crossing anymore. But maybe sprinting that river crossing and then moving down to Barova. But I think Barova is kind of their main goal. I'm not sure they'll ever be able to get there, but that appears to be their goal at this point. So Dirk, what do you think of North Korea sending their best and brightest to Ukraine?
I don't have much to add on that one, Andrew.
They're going to send some engineers, right? So what do you
That's,
think they're going to
that's
be
about it.
engineering? What would you engineer if you were a North Korean? What could you engineer that a Russian couldn't? That's what's
Probably not
interesting to me.
much. They're probably just going to put them to work digging trenches, I assume.
Maybe. But then why would you need North Koreans to do that? Maybe there's something about the North Korean missiles. Maybe because North Korea's giving like missile launchers, or they already have really. Maybe there's some sort of logistical component to that the Russians want just the North Koreans to do because it's a North Korean weapon, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're not sending that many, and they're only sending engineers, which I guess means that they're non-combat troops. I guess that's kind of the point, is to not send combat troops.
Because that might provoke some response.
Yeah, and yeah, I haven't seen actual confirmation on the North Korean thing. I would be actually surprised if North Koreans go to Ukraine. It would be a real escalation, and it's really getting dangerously close to provoking South Korea. And provoking South Korea is the last thing Russia wants right now. Because South Korea is one of the few countries that has a actually functional military industrial complex,
Yeah.
unlike all of Europe. So, like South Korea can actually make ammo, like more than five at a time, and they actually make tanks, like more than one a year, and they make artillery too, which is crazy. Like Europe can't do that. Imagine making a tank and artillery at the same time. It's crazy.
Wild stuff.
Yeah, I would love to see South Korea just be like, "Hey, Ukraine, here's like 3 million rounds." Like, here's like we're gonna give you like 50 artillery pieces.
How many did they transfer to the U.S.?
500,000, I think.
Yeah.
It was 500,000. They have a lot of ammo. They have a lot of ammo in South Korea, and it's good ammo. But yeah. So yeah. So anyways, getting back to Ukraine, there was an event today. We haven't mapped it. We didn't map anything today yet, by the way. But today in Dnipro, there was a missile strike, and I think it's really important to show. Um, I'm trying to decide which video to show at the moment. Uh, maybe, maybe this video is the best video to show. Um, Here, I will show you a video. Oh, I can't show that video. That's the wrong video. I picked the wrong one. As you can see, um, this building was hit by a missile. It collapsed. Um, the debris fell on a car that you saw briefly in the other video before I had to close it because they do show that guy and he is very badly wounded. There's another. I wanted to show that other video that is filmed from the other angle, I think. Nope. There's this one. Yeah, here. So here you can see this is the damage, and that's this is the other side of the building. So you can see the extent of the damage is extremely bad. I don't know any actual stats on how many people were expected to be there. I know as of now there are 9 wounded and 1 died, which is sad. Um, this is I have another video. I kind of feel bad showing it, so I'm not going to. But it pretty much depicts a girl. I don't know how old she is. Like, I honestly have no idea. She's somewhere between like 15 and 25. I honestly can't tell. So anyway, she's a this girl who was in her home, and the missile hit and collapsed the building like a meter or two from her. So she was standing there, and like the building like right next to her collapsed like while she was standing there, and she was talking about how all she can remember is people like screaming out, "Is anyone alive?" and her having to evacuate, and now she like doesn't know what to do or where to go because she has nowhere to sleep tonight, and she is very obviously traumatized. And I just don't want to show the video for I mean on YouTube anyway. I don't want to show it on YouTube because it's just weird to show that. But she's extremely traumatized. Um, this event it's just it's not unique in Ukraine to have these missile strikes on civilians. Um, I can show some pictures, I guess. Zelensky posted some photos of the event, the aftermath, that shows the some of the damage here. This is, I believe, this is one of the pictures Zelensky posted, although this isn't Zelensky. It's just another account reposting it. So yeah, I don't know. Dirk, do you have anything? I just don't know what else to say. It's just it needs to be talked about, but I don't really know what else to say. Like this happens like every, not to this extent. Like they don't knock down giant buildings every day, but events like this happen every day. Whether it's a small house or a building, like a smaller building, like a farm building, or like this happens every day. And I've been trying to cover this more on Twitter. I tweet out the stories that I see as I see them. So I've tried to get it out to people more often than I used to, I guess. But the frequency of this is very high. Um, Especially with the number of people who continue to pretend that Russia doesn't attack civilians. Now, there's another story that I tweeted about yesterday, and it was lesser. I don't think people recognize the importance of it, but the story was about how Russia set fire intentionally to a farm field and burned down um, like a lot of wheat. Like they destroyed like a giant field of wheat. That is not a one-off event. That is a regular thing that Russia does every single day. They shoot artillery into fields, setting them on fire on purpose, just to terrorize farmers. And they'll hit farms with all sorts of weapons. They'll hit them with grads. They'll hit them with tube artillery, and they'll hit them with drones. And then they'll fly a recon drone over the fire. And if anyone comes to try to put out the fire, they will then fire at them as well. And the whole point is terror and economic damage. So this is just a thing that's been, and Russia's been doing that the entire time. Basically, they did this all last summer, and they did the whole summer before that. So I don't know what else is there to say. Yeah, you're yeah. Brendan is mapping yesterday right now. Good job. So another another act of terror that has been going on in Kherson, uh, especially recently, especially over the past week, but it's been going on longer than that, but especially the past week. Russia has been hitting Antonivka and the Dnipro district of Kherson, which is right here. It's like the eastern part of Kherson. So this is the Dnipro district, and this is Antonivka. And I imagine they also hit Kandiyivka, but I just, no people like the one thing I've noticed is that Ukraine kind of pretends that Kandiyivka doesn't exist. They either talk about the Dnipro district or Antonivka. They ignore this anyway. So but anyway, they've been hitting these areas with drones, targeting moving cars. Yesterday, they hit a car with a whole family in it. Like it was like five people in a family. They hit it with an FPV drone. Uh, the family included, I think, two sisters. I think they were like age 15 and 17 or something like that. Um, and I think there was like an uncle and the parents, or so I can't remember the exact details, but they hit a whole family with an FPV drone just driving through Antonivka. Um, Today, they hit another car similarly in the Dnipro district of Kherson. I think 2 days ago, they hit multiple cars in the Dnipro district of Kherson. So they've been doing this very consistently, hitting cars just driving in this general area. Um, it is a notable thing. Now, they've been hitting these areas with drones, but then they also shell the central part of Kherson and the western part of Kherson, and especially this kind of ship district of Kherson. They shell them with artillery. So the western part they hit with artillery, and the eastern part they hit with drones. So all of Kherson's being hit pretty consistently every day. And if we go back to like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whatever, um, You can see all of the areas that they've been hitting with artillery, with airstrikes, with drones. They've been hitting this entire area along the Dnipro very consistently, doing a lot of damage to civilian structures. A lot of these areas have absolutely no Ukrainian military presence. So, yeah. What else? That sort of news has been really awful to me. Seeing this just constant, news of I wonder why yesterday it's not loading. And whatever, fix that. I'll fix it later. Uh, yeah, Dirk, what do you think, Dirk?
It's every day, like you said. If you read the police channels regularly, it's nonstop. These stories.
Yeah, and then every once in a while we'll get a big hit like today, where they hit a building in Dnipro, and it'll hit the news. The more news, I guess, than usual. Maybe not even international news. Maybe countries don't even care anymore. But it'll be bigger news because it's Dnipro, right? But all of these other hits happen every day.
Was there a strike in Seladov as well?
Yeah. Every day there's a strike, and man, it's just this whole kind of area. There's Pokrovsk, there's Mirnovrad, there's where's the other town? I forget where it is. Anyway, there's Mykolaievka or whatever, and then there's Seledovo. Uh, so all these towns are getting hit up there. There's Mykolaievka. So all these towns are getting just wrecked by bombs. It's basically what Russia's decided is that they decided that it was so much fun dropping bombs on like Vovchansk, which is a frontline town, leveling the entire city in a matter of 6 weeks. They had so much fun doing that that they thought to themselves, what if we just level every single city? So now they're kind of doing it here. So you can if you kind of zoom in, you see there's all these like high rises, and they're basically just sending bombs in and leveling it. They're just preemptively leveling the city, and they're probably going to do this to a whole bunch of places. It's kind of like why wait until your infantry get there to level it? Why not just preemptively level everything? And that way, you can disrupt the supply lines, you can destroy the logistics, the repair facilities, etc. Just level everything. It's kind of a total war. We're looking at like a total war scenario where they're not really waging war on the military anymore. They're just destroying everything. And the only solution to this is air defense. Well, you either have to have air defense deter the planes from coming in, or you have to attack the airfields. Those are like the two choices. And you probably need to do both, honestly. So yeah, that is an everyday event, bombing this just whole general area here. F-16s are not gonna F-16s can't fight back these bombers. They don't have long enough. They're basically their radar's not good enough. They can't do it. What you need to do is attack the airfields. And then for that, you realistically need a cruise missile, or at least very capable drones in very large numbers. Probably like maybe even both. Maybe cruise missiles and drones simultaneously. If you time them right, you can overwhelm the air defense. But the problem of cruise missiles and drones is that if if the Russians see them coming, they can scramble their jets and fly the jets away. So then you can't hit the jets. You could hit other infrastructure at the airfield, like the fuel, um, whatever else is possible to hit. I doubt you can hit the magazine. I assume a magazine is defended, well, as some sort of armor, I imagine, like a concrete building, probably underground. So I don't think a drone can hurt a magazine. I think you need like a ballistic missile or something. But yeah, you need air defense and offense. You need both. You can't just rely on defense. Which airfield specifically? All of them. Every airfield within bombing range, which is a lot of them, like all of them, because the bombers have pretty long range themselves. The F-16s that Ukraine is getting do not have upgraded radars to anyone's knowledge. If they were upgraded, it was somehow kept secret from everybody. So yeah. So what is happening now near the front? Um, South of Konstantinivka, Russia is advancing very slowly but surely. They've pretty much they're advancing like south of Novomykhailovka, south of Konstantinivka, moving in the general direction of like Katernivka and Vodiana, kind of like just west-ish, northwest-ish. Uh, so most recently, they have captured this here tree line and this here tree line, and we saw them capture this yesterday in this little video here, where they assaulted with a whole bunch of tanks, etc., and then at the end, they captured it. I don't know what that's supposed to say, but they captured that. So now they are attempting to continue their advance ever westward towards the greater. Okay, so I've talked about this a bit before, with my fear of Pobieda, where I feared Russia would move directly west from Pobieda, because there is kind of a joint here. Uh, so north of Krakow, uh, this is all like one of the most defensible places in all of Ukraine, because this is like a natural moat. There's this hill here, all of these towns on top of a hill with all of these industrial areas, and this like just giant moat surrounding it. It's a really difficult place for Russia to attack. All of the advantages, like every single advantage to the defender, because not only are you on the hill, but the hill shields you a little bit from incoming fire. So there's that. So this is one defensive position here, and then there's kind of the defensive line that Ukraine has built, kind of generally speaking, in the south. It's a very thick, dense defensive line that basically covers all of Zaporizhia. And then there's kind of this joint between the two where it they kind of meet, but they meet awkwardly because like the defensive line kind of ends around here, and then this kind of defensive line kind of starts here. So then there's this kind of this gap. And this gap is something Russia really wants to exploit, but they have not been able to find a way to get there. So the fear was when they captured Pobieda that they could kind of break across these fields and get to this highway here pretty quickly. That was my greatest fear, that they'd get here pretty quickly, and then they could kind of work their way west and eventually kind of penetrate the gap over here somewhere, and then bad things happen. So that was my biggest fear. But it didn't happen for some reason, for reasons I don't even comprehend, to be honest. Now they're trying this again, south of Novomikhailivka. They're just kind of generally moving west, trying to get into this gap. So that's a thing that they're trying to do. Um, the Weasel gifted 20 memberships to worshiping our green eyeball, Dirk. The great green eyeball in the sky. Maybe one day we'll get our own green eyeball, like our very own satellite. Wouldn't that be cool? Then we could image anything we want whenever we want to. Well, if we had enough of them.
It's nice to dream about.
Yeah.
When was the last time you mapped green eyeballs? When is the next green eyeball mapping stream?
Oof.
That's my favorite kind of stream, by the way.
I do like making them. They are very valuable. But I'm also doing like over 100 videos a day, and that's very time consuming. I'll tell you the stats. Like my stat today. How many have I done today? I have done 82 today. 82 videos. That's a lot. Let me tell you. I have um 38 more to go. So, maybe one day I'll do another green eyeball stream. If anybody wants to help, by the way, if you're interested, especially if you like geolocating. Dirk, do you like geolocating?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle. Do you want to give a pitch to people who just like geolocating? I'm not even talking about breaking down videos. Like, I will break it down and give it to you, and then you can geolocate it. How about that? Do you wanna give these people a pitch to join our basement?
Are you asking me to lie? lie to the people? What are you doing, Andrew?
Oh,
It's rewarding. I mean, and if you really like solving puzzles and you have a little time on your hand,
yeah.
We can.
See, the problem we have is that we're going through a lot of video every day, and we don't have time to geolocate all the video. Sometimes we don't have time to watch all the video, Dirk. Sometimes we can't even watch it all. That's how much we have. But if you want to help us geolocate it, we've noticed something recently. The public is not doing much geolocation anymore. We do a lot of geolocation. We have a ton of video. We've noticed that a lot of geolocators, one of the biggest problems that they have is that they like geolocating, but they don't have videos. They don't know where to find the videos. We have the videos. If you want to geolocate, we have the videos. And I don't know how many other sources are putting out as many geolocations per day as we are. We're doing like a lot per day, like or like typically over 100, sometimes closer to 200 per day. We would like to do more. We could like if we were tapping out, like if we were locating everything, we would be doing like 500 or 600 a day. But we just need help. Need help with the locations. So if that's something you do, like if you're good at it, like I don't want to train you, to be honest. It's a little hard to train. But if it's something you do already and you like it, even if you don't do it that much, like even if you only want to do like a video or two a day, we have all the video. We have more video than you know. Like honestly, like it's overwhelming how many videos we have. So yeah.
We could train you, but we just don't have the time. That's
Yeah, we don't
really
have
what
time.
it is.
And also it takes time to get good at geolocating, honestly. It takes a lot of practice. So yeah. And even like these days, like we have so much to get through that we don't even do sometimes we don't even do all the low-hanging fruit, which is frustrating because like the public doesn't locate anything anymore. So like there's all this low-hanging fruit that if we don't do it, nobody does it. For like first off. Uh so yeah, there's that.
There's just so much. There's so much video. I think that's really what it is. Is
There's so much video.
there's so much video that it's difficult to get to all of it for everybody that's working on geolocations across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, like today, like, and we're not even close to done with today, but just so far today, we have 427 video clips. No more. Sorry, 442 video clips. Oh, plus these, plus 16. So that's 458. That's 458 with like 40 more videos that we haven't even done yet. So we're probably going to be
And
over.
that's without my Telegram,
And that's out there.
basically.
And
Yeah,
we
I'm
didn't.
watching an hour-long video right now, by the way.
We haven't done Geek's Telegram either. We're probably going to have like close to 1,000 video clips today. Like honestly, like just being honest, like that's a lot of video clips. So if we had the geolocators to geolocate all of them, we would have a lot more info. Imagine how much of the war we're missing just because we don't have the 30 or 40 minutes to devote to that video, you know? Maybe that little piece of information is actually really important. Well, because we don't have the time for it. But if you have the time to help us, it would be good.
So how would they do that?
How would they do that?
How do they get a hold of you, Andrew?
The best way to get a hold of us is to message Erland. Anyway, no, it's Touchney has a form that you can fill out. I will go get it. And that form then goes to it goes to Erland. You see, here's the form. You can join our project. There are lots of different jobs. Erland's here. There's lots of different jobs that we need to do on a day-to-day basis. But right now, we kind of need geolocators, to be honest. Although, if you want to do any of the jobs, it would be great. So if you want to break down video, which is, taking a video and separating it into its constituent parts. And by separate it, I don't mean in like a video editor. I mean like writing down the timestamps, writing down what happens, logging the events in our little database. So that's one job. Another job is geolocating. Both useful jobs to us right now.
And if we had more time, we could devote more time to other things that are also valuable, like spending more time talking about those strikes in Dnipro, for example.
Yeah, we could write more, we could make more videos, we could go outside sometimes.
Maybe do a green eyeball stream every once in a while.
We could do a green eyeball stream. Providing moral support. Is that when you like fly an airplane past and the airplane says you're doing great?
I'm happy you brought up the form, Andrew.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get a whole bunch of emails. Yeah.
I hope so.
Anyways. Is there anything you'd like to say, Erland? Not about the form,
Well,
I mean just generally.
No, like anyone can apply. I'm happy to speak to anyone who wants to contribute. And especially if you maybe know someone that do some geolocations or is very, very interested in helping this way, and they are kind of nerdy about military vehicles and enjoy looking at them and studying them, then maybe give them a tip, because maybe not everyone is watching the stream that are useful in this project.
Yeah. But more generally, is there anything that you would like to say about Ukraine at the moment?
Well, I just came back from Ukraine. Kind of the first time I'm speaking public about it, but there will be some posts in social media soon, and I learned a lot. I had a great time, and also a very serious time, because we delivered 4 cars south of the Dnipro. We drove them from Oslo to Ukraine, and we had no car issues, and we drove about 3,000 kilometers. So great success, and hopefully I will be able to do that again soon. But I would say that I was positively surprised by how high morale was with everyone that I met. So
yeah,
I guess that's I'm surprised, because after a very rough winter, I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah. Speaking of a rough winter, we got some bad news today, didn't we? I just wanted to talk about this really quickly, and we can go back to what you were saying. There's a power plant that's totally destroyed now, apparently, in Ivano-Frankivsk. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, going back, is there anything else you want to say about your trip?
Well, I learned a lot. Not exactly sure about all the details. I can tell, but I can say that a lot of the drone warfare, so a lot of the people who speak about drone warfare, both social media and also journalists, they need to check their facts. And also, like, I was surprised, not that I felt that I did anything wrong in my assessments, but things I didn't know is happening a lot, and things are changing a lot faster than we we can see, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have like this like preconceived notions on what drone warfare is and what the upsides or downsides are. And I think they have a hard time adapting to new information. And it's frustrating. But drones are fun though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fun and they're terrifying, man.
Oh, yeah, they're terrifying too. Well, they're terrifying.
I mean, yeah, they're really terrifying. I, and also, one thing is seeing a video when you're home, but when you see a video from a drone operator showing you the video, then it leaves a different impression, and also because a lot of the videos that you see online are edited, so you won't see certain things. And it's not about the goriness or anything like that, but about the mission and how it works. And yeah, it's interesting. And I think we need to be a little bit cautious about our assessments about drone warfare. And I think we have, like most of us, have been pretty good at being cautious and also say that we don't really know, or this is what we see, and what is being published and shown. And my, the conversations I had with the drone guys definitely confirmed that notion, I would say. And other than that, from Ukraine, I would say an amazing country, very, very beautiful, and people are incredibly kind, welcoming, and there are animals along the road, and they are just standing there by themselves, and I've never seen this before.
Okay.
Like a cow, so
A
you
cow.
drive on the highway. There's a cow alone next to the highway, just eating grass. Then you drive
I've
another minute, and then there's a horse, and then there's a goat. Then there's some ducks, and then there's another horse, and another horse, and then another cow, and this goes on and on and on and on everywhere. Never seen it ever.
I have a question, not necessarily for you, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. If there was an artillery piece, right? And that artillery piece were firing its cannon, do you think a herd of cattle would stand next to it or run away from it?
Stand next to the artillery piece that is firing.
Yes.
I have no clue, man.
Because
I think they would
today,
run away or maybe fall down.
well, I'm not going to give my opinion on this. I'm just going to follow through. Okay. So today, the Russians, they released a video where there was a Ukrainian artillery piece, and they hit this artillery piece with a lancet. And when they hit it with a lancet, like 50 cows ran away. And that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Very interesting. Well, so my point is, I'm getting there. The Ukrainians are very connected to what the land can give you of food, and they don't necessarily have 20 or 100 cows. They have maybe a couple or maybe only one, and they really take care of getting the most from the resources that the land can give you. And also we saw enormous amounts of people selling fruits and berries and stuff that they have in their small little dacha gardens. And yeah, the fruit is freaking amazing. It's so tasty there. General impressions.
Cows. Oh boy. Oh no. Okay. Oh boy. Hey, I've done something bad. All right, we're back. Um, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed your trip.
I mean, I enjoyed it as much as you can, but I,
Yes, I mean
you
I
know,
don't.
constantly
Yeah,
come back in your mind that damn, there, you know, lots of reminders everywhere you go that it's a country in war and kind of civilian and militarily mobilization and kind of a status quo of um not living in normal times, but everyone trying to just live normally, but it's not possible to actually live normally. So yeah, strong
yeah,
impressions.
yeah. Well, yep. I trying to think of a way to pivot. I guess we could talk about the power plant. I don't actually know where the power plant is. It's like over here somewhere. But that power plant was hit by multiple missiles, right? And the roof collapsed, and I believe the whole inside of the plant is trashed, and they basically can't repair it. The like they It will require heating in order to even make it like the pumps and stuff work during the winter. And they're basically saying that they don't think they can get it back up and running again. I believe they have said that about other power plants that they actually did get back up and running again. So maybe I don't know. I don't even know how to interpret that, but um, so it's just that another power plant bites the dust. I believe Ukraine has lost 9 gigawatts of power production. I don't know what fraction that is of their total. It's pro. Was it? It's got to be like 10% or 20%. I'm not really sure. I don't actually know what the Ukrainian production was, but obviously they've lost a lot of power in the south. That's all been um seized by Russia or whatever. Like Enerhodar, etc. So the losing another power plant is going to make them even more reliant on European power production. And with heating problems, oh boy. You missed boat news.
Did you mention the grocery stores yet?
Oh, the grocery stores. Yeah, we haven't really talked about. Um, here's some numbers coming in from a nerd. It said that Ukrainian power production has gone from 18 gigawatts to 9. So it's been cut in half. That's not good. And Europe supplies 1.7. Yikes. So they have a deficit of like 7 gigawatts. That's not good. But anyways, yeah, regarding like grocery stores, like people, I think, okay, like to me, when I hear the power goes out, I assume that people are losing their power, but like key industries are keeping their power. But that is not the case at all. That is the wrong impression entirely. When they say the power goes out, it goes out for everybody. They don't care if you're a hospital. They don't care if you are a grocery store. When the power goes out, it's out. So imagine being a grocery store and losing your power for many hours a day, every single day. That is very bad. You're going to lose your meat. You're going to lose your dairy. Obviously, you can't have any frozen anything. No more ice cream. Ice cream's canceled. So, um, obviously, you would have to have a generator to keep any frozen anything. And maybe the bigger grocery stores can afford to have generators running. But most grocery stores are too small, or they just don't have the money to do it. So basically, anything that has to be refrigerated is off the menu. In a lot of places, not everywhere, but in a lot of places.
Yeah, I saw this, and we had several power cuts while we were there, and you know the power cuts, and 1 minute later you hear all the generators starting. People run out with the generator on the sidewalk or maybe their backyard, or and start them up. And what I noticed is that you go into a store while the power is out, and they have all the lights off, all the air condition off, and the only thing that has power is basically the refrigerators and maybe the cash system, like yeah, Wi-Fi and stuff they need for the bank terminals to work. So they modified their breaker circuit, like their circuit breakers, so that the generator is working only on the essential stuff. So yeah, but I can imagine that not everyone has the possibility to have a
Yeah,
generator running all the time.
yeah. I have talked to Ukrainians who have told me that their local supermarkets don't have any generators, and they don't have any frozen or refrigerated foods anymore. I don't know how common that is. It depends obviously on where you are. Like if you're in a city, you're probably fine, but if you're in some tiny town, like good luck. Like you know. Anyways, um, trying to think of if there's another topic we should talk about. Mhm. Yeah, the grocery stores losing power is something that I never really considered when because I knew Ukraine was losing power. I just never really thought about grocery stores.
Imagine all the distributors as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially I can imagine Ukraine has a large variety of um, kinds of distributors, the big commercial ones and the local ones, right? And yeah, that's a big loss for them.
yeah. All right, so people want to hear about uh, the S500. We don't really know anything about the S500. What we know is that Senator, who is a Ukrainian, uh, he has before he has released a video of destroying an S400 with attackums. He claims that they destroyed an S500, and he claims that they have a video, but the video is not cleared for release. The thing about Senator is that I find that he is reliable when he is talking about something that he himself did or someone under his command has done. Um, he's very reliable in those sorts of situations, and he is no more reliable than a random schmuck when talking about something that he did not personally do or command or whatever. It was something that he wasn't part of. So, and then when he talks about a story like this, I can't tell if he was part of it. If he was part of it and has the video of it, then I believe he's telling the truth. If he heard someone else say that they had the video, then I don't believe it. And there's no way for me to know either way, one way or the other. So for that reason, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, who knows, dude? Um, Maybe they'll release a video.
I'm a big pics or it didn't happen guy, personally.
Yeah. I will say that every time Senator has done something himself and said he had a video, he has delivered the video. But that's only when he's talking about himself. When he's talking about someone else, he's just a random schmuck. You know, he doesn't know any more than he doesn't know any more about other people than we do. But when he's talking about himself, he's a very honest person. Destroying an S-500, I'm not sure how important it is to destroy an S-500, like as an S-500. Although destroying any air defense would be good. Speaking of destroying air defense, Russia posted a video today. I'm trying to remember where it was. It was around here somewhere. Around here somewhere. Is it here? Let me find it. I have it in a spreadsheet. Yeah, it was there. I'll just zoom out. They showed a video of them firing a missile into a Ukrainian, supposedly S-300. It looks legitimate to me, honestly. It looks legit. But that's not good. They've posted several other videos recently that I think are complete nonsense. They claimed to have destroyed a HIMARS, which I think was nonsense. They claimed to destroy what's it called, an M242 or whatever. That was nonsense. They actually destroyed a fuel truck, which they were calling a Gimler, not Gimler's, whatever, an MLRS. An MLRS fuel truck. Just think about it. Think it's these highly accurate bolts of fuel. It fires it straight into your fuel tank from 90 kilometers away. Very useful vehicle, honestly. But that was nonsense. And but they also posted this video where they claim to destroy an S-300, and it appears legitimate to me. I'm not entirely sure they destroyed a launcher. I'm not sure they claimed to destroy a launcher, to be honest. What they claimed to destroy was a radar and 2 command vehicles. Yeah, the M270, that's what it's called. Yeah, that was nonsense. The M270 was it was a fuel truck. It was a KAMAZ fuel truck. Is the ammo situation getting better? Yes, the ammo situation is getting better. The Czech ammo has been in Ukraine and in use pretty for a while. It's been there for weeks now. Um, I've not heard anyone actively complain about ammo shortages, at least not artillery ammo shortages. Um, yeah. One problem that Ukraine has right now is this attack in Kharkiv is diverting ammo that they need in Donetsk. That's probably kind of for Russia the biggest benefit of their attack in Kharkiv was the diverting ammo. Because basically Ukraine needs all the ammo they can get in Donetsk to stop these infantry advances, but they're having to send a whole bunch of ammo up north. They also had to transfer a bunch of pretty elite units to the north. Both of those are bad for Ukraine, but at the same time, Russia had to put a bunch of resources there too, and it's so, I don't know, maybe it's a wash. Everyone's stressed about football. Yeah. I don't know if you follow Senator, but Senator was also stressed about football. He ranted for like a whole day about football. And then he was like, oh, by the way, we built a S500. Chassis VR. Um, there's Ukrainian claims that they recaptured Canal, which I don't know if I believe it. Dirk, do you believe that they retook Canal?
I don't actually know. I've been following it.
Yeah, I've seen no actual evidence that they retook Canal. Like no actual evidence. We see that Russia is bombing the western part of Canal with TOS constantly. Like the TOS strikes are out of control. Um, and by out of control, I mean Russia posts the same video every single day. But eventually someone will catch on. But they've been hitting this with TOS strikes constantly. They're shooting tons and tons into here. Anyway, so the TOS are doing a lot of damage. A lot of these buildings are completely demolished. I can show you probably a video um, of Chasiv Yard that was taken yesterday, I think. If I find it. That's the helicopter. Where's Chasiv Yard? I think this is it. Oh, I just need to watch it to make sure like nothing crazy happens. Um, Make sure it's just drone recon, not like drone recon followed by someone stepping on a landmine. That'd be awkward. Um, this isn't a very interesting clip. It shows some stuff though. So I'm not sharing it. Here we go. We're gonna zoom out in a second. So this is kind of the state of the city. This is the area where they're shooting a lot of TOS. They've also fired a whole bunch of bombs. All of these buildings are gone. Basically, they're all husks of what they used to be. All the humanity in the city is gone. All the people are gone, obviously. And the videos of people walking through these buildings is eerie. The buildings are so destroyed. I played a lot of Red Orchestra 2. And in Red Orchestra 2, like half the game, you're inside these random Soviet apartment buildings, right? And all the buildings are destroyed on the inside. And when I watched the footage of these from Chasiv, all those buildings where the outside seems like somewhat okay, but then the inside's totally gone. It just brings me back to the playing Red Orchestra 2, to be honest. Yeah, it's eerie. The staircases to nowhere, and crawling through piles of rubble to go from one room to another because there's no passageways because everything inside is collapsed. It's just the wild place. It's the wild place, and then going into the basements because the basements are like the only thing left at this point. And then you have to move from basement to basement. And I kind of think you have to know where you're going too, because it's kind of unpredictable where you can go from one place to another, because you can't go wherever you want, because not all the doors are doors anymore, and not all the windows are windows anymore. So you kind of have to have a map in your head of how each building connects to each other, and there's only so many routes you can take to go from one place to another. There's videos of soldiers having to cross really big fields between the buildings because, like for example, Like for example, in order to go, so they started here. Well, actually, they started here, and they wanted to go there. But the only way to go here, the only way to go from here to there was to first cross this giant field, to go into the basement. Actually, it was like this door. So you had to like cross the field, go into the basement, and then you had to like jump out this window, go around, and then kind of like go up and then up this like that, and then into the basement there. So that's how you had to go from there to there. There was no other safe way to do it. Just things like that. It's like kind of wild to think about. So yeah, I don't know if Ukraine has pushed Russia out of this eastern part. Maybe they have. I have not seen any actual proof of it. All we see is Russia still shelling the western part where you'd expect them to shell if that's where Ukraine was. And all the videos we have are Ukraine operating in this western part. We see things um, like an armored personnel carrier or an MRAP drives up, people jump out and jump into the basement, it turns around and drives away, and then they kind of operate from there where you have to move building to building to move around. So that's the sort of thing that we see all the time. I don't see anything of Ukraine operating there. I don't see anything of Russia shelling here, but it could be that both sides are just hiding that. Because Russia would be embarrassed and Ukraine has no reason to talk about it. Yeah, the problem with these buildings is that you can't knock a hole through the wall because all the floors collapsed. So you can't knock a hole through the wall because there's no gap. Like you wouldn't be able to walk through the hole because there's a pile of rubble. Unless you want to like knock a hole through like the third story and then jump out the window or something, break your leg. All right, so I don't know. I think that's all I have to talk about for right now. I can't really think of any other topics of discussion.
Maybe some drones.
What do you mean?
People like drones, right?
What kind of drones? What do you want me to say about drones? I have a lot to say about drones.
So you know how the vampires
Mm-hmm.
and other large drones can drop like big mines on people.
It sure can.
Look at the video I posted. I think that's the first FPV drone carrying like almost 10 kilograms. It's safe to show at the stream.
Okay.
It's just a training video.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Not sure if it's going to be changed because it looks like it's a little bit heavy there. It sounds as well like the motors are really struggling.
Yeah,
But the concept is proven, which is I think the point.
it's like it's like a bodybuilder, like not necessarily bodybuilder, but anyway, it's like you're doing like your personal best, right? Like you're gonna you do your one big rep, pull as much weight as you can in your one rep. But if you dial it back like 90%, to 90%, like maybe it struggles at 9.5 kilograms, but at 9 kilograms, it's rock solid. You know? Maybe.
Yep. But the thing is, they can do this with a very cheap drone compared to the vampires.
Yeah.
How much is the vampire? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, this one is
I
like
don't know how much the Kashan
1,000.
costs either.
Well, I think it's like quite expensive compared to these because this one is $1,000 base version, and then you can add on stuff. But that's kind of cheap for that kind of a heavy lift.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have other questions, but I don't think I can ask them because there are things that like Vampire does that cost money. That's all I really want to say.
Well, I'll ask more about what we can say and not, but I think we can say a lot more than we think. It's just, yeah, need to be very certain first. But there's a lot of things happening, and what? So one thing I'm sure we can talk about because it's constantly talked about in the press is that Ukraine is really serious about this drone schools. There's serious work being done, and there's obviously doctrines that have been made and are being used by multiple brigades, not just one, um, like brigade doing their own thing and the other doing total different thing. And that's some development that Ukraine has achieved. And they said they would do this a year ago, I think. And it seems like they definitely did achieve quite a lot in that area, and that's very good because a lot of different groups have been doing incredible things, but I'm not sure if they've been really good at sharing their knowledge and how they develop their own tactics. You know more about this than me because you've been watching all the different units, but that's my impression. Is
Yeah, you see a lot of different, especially with FPV drones. You see a lot of different tactics in even really simple stuff, like just the way you fly from one place to another. You can do it different ways. Like you see, like for example, if you fly from like one position to another, you can fly straight there and then turn around and look at what you want to look at, right? Or you can fly straight there while pointed at what you want to look at. And those are two different like levels of skill. And I don't know if like a drone school is teaching that, but it's a level of skill that becomes really obvious when you see things like that. Another thing is that weaker drone pilots, they feel like they have to commit really early. Where like if they see a target, they go straight for the target. Whereas the more experienced pilots, or at least better pilots, they will see a target. They might go for it, but if it just doesn't feel right, they like pull off and try again, and they keep looking for like a better way to attack it, and then eventually like pick one and go with it. So it seems that more experienced pilots are more patient, and the less experienced pilots are they commit too early, and that can lead to all sorts of mistakes. One thing, I have a friend who became a drone pilot, and he sent me his first ever drone attack, and it was really funny because he didn't really know how to attack. So what he did is he went over to the Russian, and he was just hovering above him, and then he just like rotated the joystick and spiraled out of control straight down. And that was his methodology. He's since gotten a lot better than that, but that was it's just things, you know. Uh, I've seen I've noticed that what I consider weaker drone pilots, they tend to do these really steep dives. And I consider those pilots to, generally speaking, be inferior to pilots who take other approaches. And I think the best pilots, probably in the world, are like Magyar's birds. They are ridiculously good. Like, they fly a drone like it's a predatory animal. It's like looking through the eyes of a cat.
Yeah, and you know, Ukraine taking it seriously to teach pilots and also write doctrine is definitely going to help them in their efficiency. There's no doubt that they need experience on the battlefield to perfect, to be not, not perfect pilots, but to be as good as they can be. But you will diminish that time a lot, and even maybe make better pilots than they could have ever been if they learn from experiences of other people rather than just trying and failing on their own. Well, they might never achieve, what the Magyar's birds are doing because they're, going down the wrong track.
Like
So
this type of drone pilot is like, it's creepy. Like, it feels like a person walking. And if you compare this sort of footage to the guys who just like see a target and dive on it full speed, it's very different. This is a lot more skill, and it comes from experience, from learning. And also, I think Magyar's bird, I think their drones are just superior, especially what this drone is about to do. Imagine, like, when drones were first starting to get popular, what this drone is doing, I thought would be impossible. It flew into a house. And you can see there's an FPV drone right there. It says boom. Spoiler, it then explodes. I'm gonna turn the drone off now. But um a drone flying into a house without losing signal is crazy. And it doesn't just fly into houses. It flies into basements and flies around the basement.
yeah, you can achieve that. You need to have two things checked. You need the technology. So most probably they've left, the typical hobby radio equipment that come with the FPV commercial drones or commercial drone parts, and went for something a little bit different, which has um, basically lower frequency, means longer bandwidth, or the radio waves are larger physically, which means they are a lot better at bouncing around and penetrating at least light walls. And if it's too thick concrete, then you're fucked anyways. And then the next thing is skill of the people who set up the radio equipment, and it could be on a mast or on something else that is amplifying the signal somewhere. And you need those two checked, because or else you're never going to be able to do this thing. It's insane, that video.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are asking into basements. Yeah, that video, if you watch that whole video, um later on, the video is like 20 minutes long. Later on, they fly into a basement. They fly into a basement multiple times. The first time they flew in, and just like hit a wall and exploded, and then the second time they flew in and it just kind of like flew around the basement and then exploded. Um, yeah, Here, I'm trying to skim through the video to see if I can get to the basement. I might skip it by accident because the video is really long. Oh, actually, I think I found it. Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. It's hard to go by second, you know, when it's this long. Because if I move the little needle at all, it skips like a minute. I never thought drones would be able to fly underground, to be honest. I thought they would always lose signal. I'm getting to the part where he lies around the basement. Here, I think. Let me push it back a second. Oh boy. Light a fire here. Anyway. It is what it is. They're in the basement. This is the basement. What's like? Here. Oh, anyway, whatever. You can go watch the video. Here, I'll put a link in the description. You can watch it yourself. The drones dropping fish nets on other drones, that's a Russian drone. The Russians have been, trying to market their net dropping technology for the past year and a half or so. They had a drone, a net firing pistol for a while. And they've put their net firing pistol onto a drone, and it fires nets at other drones. So that is it's a Russian drone. We kind of think that they took out one of the drones that we fundraised. It may be, I'm not entirely sure. It's still up in the air, but it may have been one of the drones that we fundraised was taken out with that drone, which is unfortunate, and it kind of makes me angry. But what can you do? Yeah, the drones are goth now. Correct. Anyways, I think that's the stream. I have to get back to work. Oh, I wonder how many unread messages I have. Oh, I'm up to 600. 600 unread messages. I wonder how many more videos that is. Hopefully not too many. All right. So thanks for coming, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can share it if you want to. Especially the part about coming into our basement.
Yeah. Don't forget to put the link in the description
Oh,
for
it's
the
there already.
application form. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's there already. All right. So thanks for coming, everybody. And
Thanks to everybody that helps us currently
Yeah.
in the basement.
Thank you. And goodbye.